If you are looking for, a high reward but high risk company, these could be a good choice that you get into with a small percentage of your portfolio. Remember, you want to have your foundation first. These are your mutual funds, your Magnificent Seven, like your Amazon, NVIDIA, Microsoft, Apple. But of course, if you want a little more gains with a small amount of I'd say no more than like 5 to 10% of your portfolio should be in, yeah,
I was saying the same
should
thing.
be in speculative stocks.
Yeah.
So yeah, these are good stocks to look at.
You don't want to blow the money that you have built with these larger companies on a gamble, right? Because as effective as news is, welcome back, good people, to another episode of Investors Playbook. As always, you have your co-hosts Deshaun and Cornell, and today we're going to talk about a stock that everybody loves, NVIDIA. Recently, NVIDIA has went through some changes in what they're investing in, and it's a good part two to an episode that we did earlier where we talked about NVIDIA pretty much putting stake in a lot of these smaller companies. So through this episode, we're going to talk about some of the changes that NVIDIA has with its balance sheet, some of the companies that decided that it did not want to rock with anymore, that it's still maintaining but reduced some of its investing dollars, and then some companies that it picked up. So yeah, sit back and tune in to how NVIDIA is changing up its investing moving forward. Cornell, what's the first stock? Well, first let's talk about what NVIDIA got rid of. All right, who did NVIDIA break up with?
All right, so when they released their balance sheet, they got rid of Sound. They also got rid of Nano Imaging, the NNOX, and also they trimmed their holdings in ARM,
Mm,
ARM.
wow.
So of course, like when this happened, with Nvidia having so much clout right now, these stocks pretty much took a dump. So I was looking at on Friday, I was looking at specifically Sound because that was a big one for me. But Sound was down 28% in one day, just a third of its value sliced in half. I mean, not sliced in half, but a third of its value sliced
I got you.
just because Nvidia dumped its stake in Sound. So yeah, that was pretty bad. Next we have ARM. ARM, they still have holdings in ARM, but they trimmed them. So ARM only took a 3% drop on Friday. And then we have NNOX, which is Nano X Imaging. And this one went down 11% on Friday. So these are the three holdings that were affected negatively by NVIDIA and the view on their balance sheet.
Man, see, this is why it is important to pay attention to these. I mean, you have some instances when you can dollar cost average. It doesn't really affect the end game if you are just trying to invest in like the Magnificent Seven, the Microsofts, the NVIDIAs. That is when investing can become extremely simplified, right? But when you start looking at some of these smaller companies, like Sound, I think when we mentioned it on our episode, it was what, $8, $10, something like that. Where was Sound?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was extremely low. I want to say it was around that.
yeah, it was $5 away from being considered a penny stock. Same with NNOX. It was a very, kind of not an unknown company, but it was not as popular as things like NVIDIA and Microsoft and Google. So when you are investing in any of these smaller companies, you kind of have to pay attention to the news and make adjustments a lot more frequently than you would if you were to invest in any of the larger blue chip stocks. So, yes, we are not saying that. I mean, no, we're not saying that you have to just always look at the stock market if you're investing. But if you're talking about looking at smaller companies, you might want to pay attention to your portfolio and make changes and adjust accordingly, because we didn't know NVIDIA was going to dump Sound. But once we realized that it happened, we exited our positions. You feel me? For the most part. So it was yeah, it was good to be able to see, why the sound stock did go down the way it did, and then also good to see what NVIDIA is now investing in, because this might be another opportunity. We have a couple of stocks that NVIDIA, yes, they got rid of some and kept some, but it also picked up like two new stocks, right? Two new tech stocks.
Right. But before we get to that,
Yeah,
I just wanted to talk about even, I think you're absolutely right. When you're investing in the speculative stocks, you have to stay informed on what's going on because, of course, not all these stocks make it. You see what I'm saying? So, but even if you got into sound when we told everybody that NVIDIA invested into it, over the past 6 months, sound is up 120%. So you didn't lose out if you got in when we start talking about it
last year.
6 months ago.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was about 6 months ago.
yeah.
So yeah, because they're up $6 in the past 6 months, up 120%. If you had options at that time, I hope that you collected your profit and everything. But yeah, as Deshaun said, you gotta stay informed. And there's a such thing as opportunity cost. So you could either sit here and hope that this could continue to go up because it might. I don't know. Just because Nvidia sold it doesn't mean that ultimate judgment on this business. But I just know that there's more of a chance. And of course, the people in Nvidia, they're informed and I'm pretty sure that those are professionals and very educated investors within that company. And also they have a board that communicates with each other in order to make these decisions. So I'm sure that whatever reason they did it for, I'm pretty sure that it was a very informed and educated decision. And that's what I'm basing my decision off of. So I think that knowing what they bought into is also important. And I know that Deshaun was alluding to that before. I just kind of backtracked. But yeah, so the first stock that they put into is We Ride. And on Friday, this stock jumped up 83% in one day. It went up $14. And now the stock is sitting at $31.50.
So here's a question. Well, I'm gonna let you mention the other one first, but then I'll ask my question after you mention the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So the second one is Nebius Group. This is NBIS. This stock went up 7% on Friday, which is still good. 7% in one day is really good. But this is another one that NVIDIA added to its balance sheet. So what was it that you were gonna ask?
I was just gonna first talk about what some of these companies are. Like WeRide, what the company does, why NVIDIA is even looking at this company. WeRide is a Chinese autonomous driving company, and according to news outlets, NVIDIA decided to invest heavily. Well, I don't know how heavy, but NVIDIA decided to invest in this company because it is more closely aligned to where NVIDIA is trying to go. Right? They're trying to be the boss in the AI space, and more recently, they're trying to become more involved in the autonomous driving space. So that is where the investment in WeRide comes from, because that is literally what WeRide does. Right? They develop autonomous driving technology, and that aligned with NVIDIA's core values. So that decision to invest in WeRide came from. And I was just gonna ask, do you think that now that we are aware of this news, is this the train has left the station, or we missed the boat, or do you think that WeRide and Nebius is are companies that you are going to look to potentially purchase or get some do some investing in? What are you thinking?
When I look at WeRide, they have a market cap of 8 billion. So I feel like WeRide has a lot of growth potential, even though it did go up 83% in one day.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I would look to see if it cools down, but I don't know. Like if I were to invest in it, I wouldn't wait too long. I know that.
Yeah, I think with a move like 80 something percent in a day, you're gonna have people take their gains. I imagine on Monday, because when jumping in, you probably don't expect to make 83% on your investment in a single day. So you kind of got to think about that emotional trader who literally is probably just thinking how we mentioned, right? Like WeRide was a to some an unknown company. We're now hearing about it because NVIDIA has gave it its blessing. So are you going to have those people who get rid of WeRide first thing when the market opens back up, or is it going to be sustained growth? Like how Sound kind of had that steady stair step. Sound didn't explode like this. This is different. Sound slowly moved up, and then once it got dumped, it did a sharp reversal. But yeah, I think I'm in the same mindset as you. I don't want to. If I do plan, it won't be me waiting too long, right? I'm not trying to hit like the perfect price to get into it, you know. But yeah, I think that it could be some sustained growth there, but we'll see.
So what I may do, I may just passively put money into it.
Mm-hmm.
If I see an aggressive pullback, then I'll put an aggressive
Yep.
amount of money in there.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But for right now, while it's up 83%, I think I can just slowly fund it. You
Yeah.
know, maybe
Yep.
buy a few shares each every 2 weeks or something like that, and then see what happens.
I definitely understand that you don't want to jump in at the top, you know, and it's at the top. Yeah. And then Nebius is another small cap company that just specializes in AI and machine learning. Again, just along the lines of what NVIDIA is trying to do, which is be that dominant player in the AI space. So both of these new companies that they picked up are AI driven machine learning technology companies. And yeah, it caught the attention of NVIDIA, one of the most popular stocks right now. So
I think it's number two in valuation right
yeah,
now over Microsoft. I think it's Apple and then Nvidia.
yeah, I know when that deep.
I think it's back up. Yep. I think it's like at 3.3 market cap, billion market cap. I mean trillion market cap, I think.
Mm,
Yeah, so
yeah,
it's coming back up, and I actually have two options in Nvidia that are doing pretty well.
I think I have an option in Nvidia. Um, I think I just got it at the wrong time, or maybe my strike price is too far out. But I need to check on that and see how it's doing. After that,
And I'm sorry, it has a 3.4 trillion market cap.
Nvidia.
Nvidia, yes.
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, so I think the next step is to do some research on both of these companies, Nebius and WeRide. I know we already talked about You mentioned their market, their current. Well, you mentioned WeRide's current market cap. I don't know what Nebius's market cap is.
It was 10 billion.
Okay.
Very similar.
Yep.
So both have a lot of room to grow.
Mm-hmm.
And then if Nvidia is invested in them, no telling, we have an idea of what their plan is because one is autonomous cars. Like, what all can you do with that? So, but of course, that's a growing market. I know I just saw videos of self-driving cars in Atlanta. I've never seen any on my own, but the fact that they're in Atlanta now, that's showing the growing market. And also, of course, everybody knows AI is growing. I use AI for everything, and I can only see it more getting more advanced. You got, and it's getting more and more realistic too. Sometimes it's kind of hard to know what's real and what's fake on the internet. So it's getting kind of scary, and I hope they kind of find ways to,
Yeah.
to keep everything, yeah, keep everything good.
Yeah. When I tell you that they are, there are so many. They're called Waymo. That's the company in LA, bro. These self-driving cars are everywhere. Like literally, I was driving down the street. We were in Inglewood, right? And if you see a car that has like a circular kind of camera looking thing on the top of it, and you pull up, no one in the driver's seat. And what they do is you're allowed to. This is like Uber now. You can call a Waymo car to come pick you up and take you where
Yeah.
you need to go, and it'll be the driver. Like it'll come pick you up. You'll get in. You'll take you to your destination autonomously. So they're definitely here, bro. Like I'm seeing them.
You know what? I would actually prefer that because then I don't have to deal with somebody trying to talk to me when I'm trying to get to my destination.
You can request, please do not converse with me on the app. They don't care, bro. I'm talking like on the Uber app and stuff. How you can be like,
Yeah.
you want the temperature to be, whether you want to have a conversation. Nah, all that side of it. But yeah, man, Waymo cars are here. I don't know if Waymo is just a company that uses autonomous cars. I don't think they like created the technology or anything, but who knows, man. I think that digging into that too, it would be really crazy if Waymo uses We Ride technology on their vehicles.
Mm,
Yeah, but that's definitely something to look into. But yeah, autonomous vehicles are here, bro. They're definitely in Los Angeles, and seeing them, like I'm seeing them just a lot now. Like before, I would see one, like maybe once a month. Now I'm seeing like three or four a week. So yeah, the autonomous vehicle joint is here for sure. And now it's in the commercial space to where it's being used to provide a service to people. It's not just you have a Tesla and you can take your hands off the wheel while you're like going to work. It's like a fleet of cars who go pick people up and take them places, bro. So, and I think it's the same with those serve robots too. They have some type of GPS technology and some type of sensors to let them know when to cross the street. I think it's similar technology in that inside of a car. Of course, it has to be a lot more because cars are going a lot faster. But yeah,
yeah. It says that this is a subsidiary of Google's parent company, Alphabet.
what, Waymo?
Yeah.
So Waymo is a Google company?
The parent company is Alphabet. That's what it's saying.
Wow. Well, there you go.
Yeah, I would have never guessed that.
There you go.
Google's Waymo, now obviously the leader in self-driving cars. Yeah, never knew it. Owned by Google. Yep, you're right.
Well, yeah.
And see, all of these companies are doing similar things. I remember when Apple was trying to come. What happened to Apple in that self-driving car? Because wasn't Apple trying to do that too? And then they just kind of like faded out. Because I haven't heard anything about an Apple car in a long time.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything either in a minute. So I don't know if that's still something that is planned to happen. But yeah, I remember years ago they had mentioned the self-driving car.
They did. Yep. Yep. So these are the companies that NVIDIA has its hands in. If you are looking for, a high reward but high risk company, these could be a good choice that you get into with a small percentage of your portfolio. Remember, you want to have your foundation first. These are your mutual funds, your Magnificent Seven, like your Amazon, NVIDIA, Microsoft, Apple. But of course, if you want a little more gains with a small amount of I'd say no more than like 5 to 10% of your portfolio should be in, yeah,
I was gonna say the same
should
thing.
be in speculative stocks.
Yeah.
So, yeah, these are good stocks to look at.
You don't want to blow the money that you have built with these larger companies on a gamble, right? Because as effective as news is, well, I mean, that's just it. News is very effective. Sound is a company that was doing pretty well. And as soon as news broke that NVIDIA was not working with them anymore, they dropped heavily. Same thing with the companies we just mentioned and how fast they exploded simply based on what that shift. So you don't want it to be you put 30-40% of your portfolio into one of these companies we mentioned and then NVIDIA decides that it changed its mind. You know what I mean? So yeah. But yeah, I think that's some solid information, Cornell. I hope that when people watch this episode, they do their own research. They take a look at some of these companies, and if it fits into your current portfolio, you know, make something happen. Whatever you do,
For
get
sure.
off the sidelines. Yeah. All right. So as always, we appreciate you all for tuning in. Come join the Facebook group. We are having financial conversations on a regular. If you are enjoying the episodes, leave a comment, leave a like, leave a review, share with a friend. We're trying to spread the word of investing in the stock market, how easy it is and how important it is to stay informed of everything that's happening because it could just be affecting you. So not just affecting you, but it could be affecting you. Is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, man. Anything before we go, Cornell?
I think we're all good. Join the Facebook, talking to Facebook.
Yes, sir. Hi, man. Appreciate y'all. Catch y'all next time.
Absolutely.
Peace out.